some of us are just so fucking done with all of it. Hi, I'm Saturn. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna give you a tarot reading, okay? Especially for those of you who are done, burnt out, over it, done with this line of thinking, ready to move the fuck on with this way of life, okay? Girly pop, what is happening? You don't even know. We're feeling a lot of stuckness. Let's get unstuck. Okay, because I don't want you to feel stuck. And you don't want to feel stuck either. And I think there is some water sign king out there who's maybe reaching out. He's actually not sure what you're doing either. Look at his face. He's like, what are you doing? Like, because that's not it. I think some of you are, there's like a lot of just like thinking up in your head, stuck energy. We need to clear this. Okay? The King of Cups is not about it. There's somebody who you are emotionally entwined with, or there is a potential of emotional connection, and like this running around in your head is not working for them. Like it is keeping you from connecting in a, oh my lord, every single time I cut the deck, really, I swear to God I shuffle these. Some of you are staying up too late. That's for all signs. I've never drawn this many swords right off the bat in a reading, I don't think. It's every time I cut the deck. Okay. And I think like this, and then I mean the Queen of Wands here also, like this isn't a true pairing anyway. Like there is like a misunderstanding, there's a miscommunication here happening. There is like, also I feel like you're kind of, I'm hearing breach of contract. So like you're not maybe living up to the standards that you lined up for yourself, okay? But it seems to me like you're ready to change, to take some action, okay? I think you're ready to get unstuck. You're like, again, tired of this. You're just done, right? Like that was the first, we're just done. We're done with this. Over it and done with. I'm moving on. I'm ready to move on. So what do we need to clear out? I did see Temperance in there. I saw Temperance, and Temperance has been coming up a lot for me recently, but I did shuffle them back into the deck. So this could be some addictive tendencies for some of you might be coming up, and that's kind of what is getting you into this cycle of being in your head and not really doing anything about it. This kind of like being on the fence, not wanting to make a choice or a decision. But I do feel like you know what's good for you, and it's also possible that that you're not letting these thoughts control you anymore. And when you do, you see it, and maybe you're like disappointed, or you're like, I'm not about this. I really like, there's like, you look at like, we have this like fire sign looking in this direction, and then this water sign like facing the same direction, but they're not he's looking over to the side, you know, they're like, like, I'm not sure I'm seeing it in your perspective. Again, like this misalignment here happening between two parties. And this could be a Leo and a Pisces. This could be like looking at what's not there instead of what is there. We still have those 2 cups here. So there is still a connection. There's just a little bit of misalignment. And I almost shuffled these backwards into each other. But then there is death here. So that's our first major arcana, and we have like the 10 of Swords. So like Pluto is retrograde right now. So I think we are like learning maybe these old lessons that we've already learned and maybe finally putting them to rest. Like we're so done. It's like been there, done that, and I am ready to move on type deal. Okay. And we have the 6 of Cups also. So we have the 5 and the 6, right? So maybe it's, you know, there are some childhood dreams, I think, being revisited, reawoken. They're coming to life again. It's also a soulmate connection. So it's interesting because I'm like, yeah, I mean, these two aren't like, you know, they don't go together in the deck, but that doesn't mean to say that they're not, you know, a bad pair. There's just they're not really seeing eye to eye right now, and it's bringing doubts in, and it's like we need to kind of clear the board. We need to clear the board and start over. And start fresh. Look at the newness. Look at what's new. Look at what is young and fresh. That's like, we're keeping things fresh. We are refreshing things, okay? I brought up the full moon already. Okay. I brought up the full moon already. It's like a really good time for cleansing and cleaning, and I'm also kind of getting this like resentment is coming in as well, just like bro. Okay, so somebody is not acting quite right in this situation. We have like 2 people on the board here, a water sign and a fire sign. I don't know why I said air sign. Maybe someone with maybe the fire sign has a strong air placement, or it's an air sign with maybe strong fire qualities, or has a fire placement in their chart. But we have these 2 players on the board, right? And I think they're in some kind of authority position. It could be you and someone else, or it could be people in positions of authority in your life. Or it could be like friends. I don't know. I don't know you or your life, but where it is applicable, apply it, right? And someone in this situation, maybe the fire sign, I don't know, somebody in this situation is like thinking that they are getting away with something. And as I was talking about, you know, like cleaning, it's kind of feeling like, I'm getting like it's sweeping it under the rug, right? Like, we don't need to talk about that. Like, that's not gaslighting, maybe even. I legit am just getting the like, yeah, that's not actually, like, that's not important. Like, we don't actually need to talk about that. We can just move on. Because I already dealt with it in some kind of underhanded, backhanded way. I don't know. But somebody is not doing their fair share of the work that needs to get done. And it could be the water sign. I'm not saying it has to be the fire sign. That's just kind of like, just kind of like getting that red vibe, but you know, water signs can act freaking shady too, okay? So we all can act shady. We all have it in us to act shady. So what's the deal? You know, like there is still some alignment here. There's potential here. And like what needs to happen is to let it die and start fresh again. Like, let's bring in some new dreams here, some old dreams, you know. Let's clear away this stuff and bring in our own stuff, you know, from the heart. And somebody's just like, I don't know, like somebody's like not on board. Somebody's not a team player in this situation. And that's kind of a bummer. So like, what do we do about that? Like, is it you? I don't know. You know, maybe it's all of us. Like, we all usually have a part in something. So maybe look at where you think you're getting away with something. Maybe look at that addictive tendency coming up. Selfishness, possibly. Excess of, honestly, I'm kind of getting like excessive like emotions. Like, it's kind of like a pity, oh poor me. I'm also hearing like blame game. Like there's a lot of like not taking accountability happening, and it's not just the other party. I think both parties are involved. I think everybody has a part to play in this situation. Like, death comes for everybody, right? And like, we will be held accountable. Our souls will be weighed against a feather, okay? Like, that's gonna happen to all of us. So nobody is exempt, right? And like, there's no, like, we can't cheat our way out of that. Which doesn't mean we can't try, because certainly people will try. Okay, this card wants to come up. Certainly people will try to cheat the game, and they think they will win, but they're not actually winning. It's like, at what cost? At what cost? There are so many swords here that like there has to be an air sign involved. Like, none of them are face cards, but there's definitely like chit chat happening. There's possibly like triangulation. I'm not really seeing like gossip necessarily, but like, there's like that kind of like whispering in the ear kind of vibes. Like, I don't know if it would count as gossip, but like, maybe it's gossip. Maybe it's gossip. Okay. Yeah, but there's definitely like a potential to get creative with it and see maybe what you can do. I think there's a potential to get out into nature, like take kind of a step away from it, connect to yourself, get some perspective. I'm kind of getting this like, we don't really know which way this is gonna go. I pulled this in for some reason. I got I don't know if you heard that. Someone was yelling outside. My whole life is a delicate cycle, so maybe look up that song. Maybe look up the lyrics to that song and see if there's anything in there. There might be a message in there. But yeah, I mean, the world is all about like integration of the lessons that you're learning. So it might be frustrating, but like this kind of seems like it's maybe a necessary part of the play for you and whoever is involved in this situation to learn. And I know I said it's kind of like you've been through this, been there, done that, and like you're like ready to put it to rest, but this just kind of, you know, these types of things that we need to learn will crop up in different areas of our lives, and then we get to learn them in whole new ways, you know, with a whole new cast of characters. So that there might be a fixed sign involved also. That's Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo. And I also wanted to say Sagittarius because there's Temperance here, and then Scorpio with Death. And yeah, I mean, there's potential here, you know. Like I said before, it's not all bad. It's just kind of an ugly situation right now. It's just kind of an ugly situation right now, and some of you might not really see it, but you feel it. You're feeling it though, are you not? There's a lot of burnout here. There's a lot of just like, I'm so over this. You need a break. Okay? I get it. I'm getting like, give me a break. Can I get a break? Let's see. Can you get a break? Will you get a break? When will you get a break? I don't think it's gonna be soon. But it will be good when it comes. It's definitely not gonna be soon. Pentacles are the slowest moving cards. Moving signs, suit. Pentacles are the slowest suit of the tarot. And the 10 is culmination. We have a lot of 10s. We have 3 different 10s here. So for some reason I'm like, okay, that's 30. I don't know. Maybe some of you are in your Saturn return or about to enter your Saturn return. Maybe this is gonna take a lot longer than you would like, but there is certainly like an important lesson involved, and you might be working at capacity for the next 3 years. But you will get a break. Like, there is fruition in this. There is like an end to this, and there is an end goal, and I think you'll be stronger through it too, because the 10 of Pentacles is about family also. It's about structure and stability and like generational wealth. The 10 of Pentacles is, I think, a really fucking good sign for everything that's been laid out here. And I think that the lesson will be learned, and it's going to take a while. Whatever is kind of like coming up, it's like we're dredging things up, and it's like kind of, I think, the final push with all this going on. Yeah, there's like a lot of like, you're in your head about this. You're not really sure which way to go or what the purpose of all of this is. It's really difficult. You're not having a good time. And whether you are one of these 2 players or you're just involved in this situation, it doesn't feel good. It feels sticky. It feels yuck. And we're having a hard time. A lot of people in this situation are having a hard time not like talking about how yucky it feels. And that doesn't feel good. Also, like that's not good for anyone involved. Like, that's just kind of sticky, yucky behavior that that doesn't feel good. And I think like what would be helpful is to focus on the agreements that you have, the things that you hope for, and like the seeds that you are planting with this team or with this person or with each other, right? And and like check yourself a little bit. What needs to get laid to rest? What needs to get laid to rest? And what are you avoiding? Okay. What are you in denial about? What are you avoiding? What are you trying to get away with in this situation? And it doesn't have to be like something bad necessarily, but just like, is it the gossip? Are you trying to get away with like maybe not so great behavior? Are you trying to get away with like putting someone down? Or you're trying to get away with like being stuck in these negative thoughts, and you're just kind of like giving excuses for how pessimistic you're feeling about all of this situation. You're trying to get away with like the self-pity, or you know, it could be anything. Also, like, it doesn't have to be bad. Like, there is like a piece of it that it could be denial. Like, you could be trying to like, you're doing something and you're not seeing it entirely, but it's definitely not like for the team. It's not like for the good of the whole people in this situation. It's selfish behavior, and you might not see it, but I think like there is potential to break this cycle of selfish behavior, and it might come to a head in Sagittarius season. It might not. I don't know. I don't really think so, honestly. I think like it's just kind of like a lot of stuff coming together, and this is just kind of like a bigger piece. I actually think that these are things that you've been dealing with for a really long time, and are behaviors that you're kind of entrenched in, and maybe that's why you can't see them necessarily completely. I don't think that it's like a terrible thing to just keep on keeping on while you're doing this, and just kind of like nose to the grindstone type deal. Mind your own business maybe during this time. Don't get caught up in the gossip. Yeah, either really just like focus on the vision, and focus on where there is alignment, instead of getting into this negative, judgmental, yucky. And I feel like it's self-judgment. I feel like it's so interesting, because like there's like selfish behavior, but then there's also a lot of self-judgment, I feel, in this situation. And maybe it's because like it's like, oh, I thought that I had already been there, done that. I thought that this was already laid to rest. I thought that I had done this already, and like now these behaviors are coming up, and I don't like how I'm acting. I don't like how I'm approaching this situation. I don't know what to do about that in this specific scenario. But again, like I don't think this is going to necessarily like resolve itself in a neat way, or a timely manner. Like, this isn't gonna end anytime soon, unfortunately. But when it does, it will be so done. I got confirmation for that. It will be so done when it is done. My hands are warm. That's my sign that I am speaking truth. Okay, so like, and it will be so done, and you will be like so much better off for it, I think, in the long run. So if this message, if you're watching this and you are like about to be 30, or you're in your 30s, or even like in a cycle of Saturn, you know, like if you're 60 or 90, I don't know who's watching my channel. You know, if you are in one of your Saturn returns, I forgot what I was gonna say. You don't have to worry about it, I guess, is just what I was going to say. Like, this is kind of like one of the big lessons that is wrapping up for your Saturn return, where you're just kind of like we're finishing it all out. We're clearing out all of that stuff from the last 28 years, 29 years, and we are letting it go so we can bring in a new perspective, a new like level up of maturity. And I don't know, like, boom, I'm like, that's it, boom, done, like, we're done, we're good, okay, we are ready. And I was just kind of wanted to say, like, you don't have to worry about it because, like, you have more time. And I don't know, but, like, there's so much seriousness, there's so much, like, serious energy, and I think that I think it might be hard to deal with, because, I mean, look at this guy too, also, like, look at his little smirk, look at their little smirk, they're like, and I think, like, you might want to be careful with your words, you might want to be careful with, like, where you are choosing to be sarcastic or make jokes, because that could be the thing you think you're getting away with, is, like, making little jokes on the side, and, like, people are, like, very serious up in here, and they're not laughing. Okay. And I think that there's also, like, with the Six of Cups, there's also, like, some hurt, some inner child hurt coming out, you know, like, we all carry that with us, and I think, like, that is going to be a lesson for some people in this situation, is that, like, we are all kind of, like, all of us act from that place of, like, a little hurt child sometimes. We do. And I think one of the lessons to be learned is how to like see that, how to witness that, how to respect that, and, like, love that and nurture that in others, you know, like, how do we love each other in a way that is kind and appropriate, and also, like, I don't know, this is weird, this isn't something that I would normally advocate for, but this is what's coming up, okay? Like, maybe we don't need to hold each other accountable. Maybe in this situation, we just need to hold ourselves accountable, and the way that we do that is by reparenting ourselves, by doing some gentle parenting, some nurturing, okay? And we hold ourselves accountable. And that's the way that we approach it, is through our own course correction and looking at our own shit, instead of trying to treat others like hurt children and also hold them accountable. Like, we're not here to do this work for other people. We're here to do this work for ourselves. I mean, yeah, I mean, that does actually resonate with me. I don't know why I said it's not something that I would usually say. I think that's just something that I needed to hear. Because I'm always trying to hold people accountable, and never trying to hold myself accountable. Is the truth. That's the truth. And it's, like, hard for me to name what I want, like I said in my little vlog, right? Okay? And I think that, like, I think we get to go after what we want, you know? And we don't need to let other people's little side projects or scenarios get in the way of our own growth and healing practices. And we can do that lovingly, and we can keep our nose to the grindstone, mind our own business, not get caught up in the gossip, and do our best. That's the message. I have a lot of love for you, and if you want a tarot reading from me, email me. I'll put it in the description. And if you want to tip me, I'll put that in the description too.